say, trying to take 4 seconds out of the man in front of you in the qualification race is a little bit foolhardy, isn't it?
I agree. I mean, he'll be settling now into a nice rhythm, as long as he's not under too much pressure from Apt. Yeah, but as I say, Johnny, this is Macau.
And anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I mean, it only takes a little bit of a slight mistake on the brakes, or, being caught out with some oil on track or something, and game over. So it's not over until you cross the finish line here.
Talking of which, Mortara does just that and does a 2:12.4 compared to the man behind him. Vantor does a 2:11.9. That was a very impressive lap by the Belgian.
He's going to want to push. I mean, if he's in the zone, he's on a bit of a mission. That's sometimes when you're at your safest. And Mortara here is going to have to just keep his head down. I mean, he's under no threat at the moment, but it's very easy to lose a lot of lap time around Macau.
Verne, the Frenchman, down in 8th position. Not perhaps the showing he expected. But he's still in it, and being down in 8th position is not out of it by any means, especially with a full race to come and plenty more drama to come tomorrow in the big grand finale. But it's Mortara, Vantor, Apt, Merry, Bottas and Whitman, the top 6.
Yeah, Bottas has slipped back there. He's obviously not happy with his grip or his balance of the car. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he's dropped back from the front row, so he's going to be disappointed about that. He's got to keep pushing and keep his head down.
2:11.9 though, very impressive lap for Vantor in these conditions, and well, they haven't had a lot of time to think about it today, given that they had qualifying this morning, so it's all been a little bit unsettling. I would have thought. Usually when you've had the qualifying on the Friday afternoon, you've got Friday night to sit down and think about it with your engineers. Not so today.
No, I mean, that's about 1.3 seconds off last year's second race, so there's still some more lap time to come, but don't forget the track's going to get faster, and the track is going to grip up all of the time. So very, very respectable time considering the other guys are doing 12.4. It's quite a warm day today. Maybe the engine performance isn't as good as last year. It was very cold last year, so this is a very impressive performance here from Vantor.
Yeah, I think we did get exceptional times because of the weather last year. The colder conditions giving the engines a chance to really go, and the air temperature just helping, I think, in terms of those overall lap times. So a little bit hotter this year, and therefore not necessarily expecting records to be broken. You never say never with the likes of Mortara out there.
Yep. I mean, Vantor had a very good first sector, but lost some lap time, quite a lot of lap time in the second sector. So you're going to probably see the gap slightly increase here.
Mortara does a 2:12.1. Vantor 2:12.3. Apt just done his fastest lap, 2:13.3. Merry, Bottas, Whitman still going through. But the battle is definitely in the midfield. And there is Apt. 16, Merry. To Merry, the Spaniard, just behind him in the number 16 car. Bottas not showing as well as he would have wanted, and is still there. Number 28 just going through Lisboa now, the third of these cars. But the Finn not quite as sterling as we expected. We expected to take the fight to Mortara. That hasn't happened, not yet anyway. But there's still time.
The problem is you lose a bit of momentum at a crucial stage of the race. You've got a bad run into Lisboa, and you can easily go back 1 or 2 places, and then you're sort of always defending for 2 or 3 corners, and you just lose your rhythm, and that's what's happened to Bottas here.
Buller moves to 19th position, not much of a change there. Munoz stays in 20th, Kunamoto 22nd, he's dropped down. Adelaide Fong's having a good run, he's up to 24th at the moment. As we go back on board, down towards Police and Moorish Hill.
Again, another good first sector for Vantor here, which is really just down and braking well, flat through Mandarin and braking for Lisboa. So obviously he's chosen a lower downforce configuration, I would expect, and maybe the middle sector is not going to be quite so strong. We'll see.
Well, it isn't the nail-blighting race, but then again, the qualifying race is just that. Whoa, and slightly out of shape there was that. He's definitely pushing it as he came out of Don Maria. But, yeah, no big fights for position, but I think most of them being sensible as well. No need to be a hero in race 1, or you may not make it to race 2.
Absolutely, you've got to keep your head together, but Macau just pulls you. It wants you to drive faster and faster all the time. And Apt wants to prove his speed, of course, and well, he's doing that pretty well right now at the moment. Of course, he's also got these 2 guys all over him behind him, so he's going to need to push. You just can't relax.
So through go the chasing pack, but Mortara is already off into the distance. Not quite too far away, Hill, but not far off. Mortara does a 2:12.034 last time.
He's done his fastest middle sector, so that was a really good pushing lap from Mortara, so he is still pushing.
Yeah, and he's breaking the back of this. He's got a 4-second lead now, almost 3.9 seconds, and that's plenty here at Macau. The man who looks the most aggressive, perhaps, is Merry. Roberto Merry, the Spaniard, now looking to get past at Lisboa, and he really is putting Abt under a lot of pressure. Spaniard probably got the most experience of those racing, and he's using it.
Yeah, Abt's going to need a good middle sector here to give him a bit of breathing space in the last sector and first sector. So, and he seemed to be quite quick in the last few laps through the middle sector, and giving him. It's not easy to follow either through the fast solitude S's. I mean, it's easy to get unsighted and clip the wall. So, you know, Abt has got a little bit of a clear track ahead of him, and he can push really hard now.
No change then in the top 6. Well, top 8, in fact. Rosenquist has lost a place to Verne, the Frenchman, moving up to 8th position. Huertas, the Colombian, down in 11th at the moment. And into police they go. And that looks comfortable. He was out of shape last time round, but this time a lot more smooth as they come towards Donna Maria again. Down through the gearbox. Second gear through here.
Yep, second gear. It's quite a difficult corner because the barrier is not sort of one constant curve. It's easy just to touch a wheel on the inside, and you've got to get tucked right in. We're arriving at Macau. Very slippery on braking, full lock now. Very important to exit out of here really, really well, because it's quite a long drag to Fisherman's here in our bend. So, yeah, I mean, look pretty tidy out of there.
Yeah, and you can see already up to 4th gear as they go through here, and maybe dropping a gear or holding it there through there, but then flat out again for the long run towards our bend.
Yeah, and that put in a very good middle sector, 1:21.3 versus 1:21.9 for Merry. So, yeah, that's going to give him a bit of breathing space. But let's see, because on the last lap, Merry was actually 4 or 5 tenths faster in the first sector with the slipstream.
Yeah, Abt does his fastest lap of 2:12.7 last time out. Merry likewise has followed him through with a similar time. And at the front, the gap is 4 seconds still.
This is a classic. You know, I'm sure that Abt has got a little bit more downforce, more wing. And Merry's going to challenge him again for Lisboa, and it's going to be a really tough race for Abt to defend every lap into Lisboa.
Oh, he's got him this time. Oh, has he?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, he's done him on the brakes there, but that's just straight line speed there. So he's obviously gone for the lower downforce that's worked.
Great stuff by Roberto Merry, who goes through on Abt and gets into a top 3 position, and that's where he wants to be.
That was very, very aggressive. He pulled it off. You know, good job. Could have easily touched there and ended it. Oh, number 16 there was really so. Merry again, right on the ragged edge on the exit there. So he's pushing pretty hard. He's still pretty excited from passing at Lisboa, I'm sure, and a little bit of adrenaline kicked in there.
He was explaining to me. Here it is again, and that was classic.
That was very, very hard. I think Abt was well pretty fair with him there to give him the space, but quite a ballsy move.
Yep, indeed, and Merry moving up. Remember, he started 6th on the grid. I spoke to him this morning about the qualification, and he was quietly confident, and he said that's exactly what he wants to do, is finish in the top 3, and that's where he is. So it's a plan going according to exactly as he wants right now, the young Spaniard.
Yeah, it's pretty, you know, quite a lot of confident driving, I would say, right there. So it's pretty aggressive, did well to pull it off, and he's pushing really hard now.
So Mortara, we've hardly seen him, but he's out there leading, but the gap is strong, and so we don't need to worry about him unless he has a mechanical difficulty. It's the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place that we are concentrating on, and Roberto Merry has just pulled off the move of the race so far. An excellent move indeed to take over 3rd place from Daniel Abt.
Yeah, he's just on a 1:21.8 middle sector versus Abt 1:22.3, so giving himself a bit of breathing space there. And I'm sure he's not concerned about the last and the first sector. We've seen him very, very strong in that particular part of the race earlier on. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to settle nicely now for 3rd place, I would say. It's looking pretty safe.
Now, Vantor has closed the gap, but not to a significant point where I'd worry about it at this point. Although he did do a very, very quick lap.
A very quick lap. I mean, 1:13.5 for Mortara, 1:12.1 for Vantor.
Oh, so. That goes through. Now, what? How? I don't know how he managed to get as close as he did to Mary, but he did a good job there.
There's a lot of slipstreaming going on, more than I would have expected. That was really impressive.
So Abt not out of it and not lying down for 1 minute. And again, here's the drama. And it was both Abt and Bottas coming through almost.
Well, I mean, I don't know what that was all about. I mean, Abt just looked pretty safe on the brakes there, and it's almost like Mary led him through. It's very strange. I think he just was a little bit unsure of how far behind these guys were, and he just didn't. He left the door wide open. I mean, he'll be kicking himself for that.
Yeah, he will. He did all the work the lap before, and now he lost it all, and Bottas went through as well. So this is going to get to a dramatic finish, because now it's Abt and Bottas fighting it out.
That's amazing, because you know, he had a big space there on the exit of the last corner and through Mandarin, and he was quite easy to go offline and defend that. So that's a shame. Anyway, good job from Abt to get back. Very good.
So the order: Mortara, Vantor, then Abt and Bottas. Mary drops from 3rd to 5th place. He won't be too merry after that. One more lap to go then. Here are your leaders, and it's a bit closer between the Signature boys, but not in terms of competition. I think they will just ease it now into a 1-2 finish. Last lap then for Eduardo Mortara, and what must be going through his mind now, because he really is on the cusp of making history. One more race and he will go down in history as the first person to get back-to-back Formula 3 race wins here at Macau, and that is one strong accolade for the future. He plans to do DTM racing next year. He's got a test with Audi, and his future looking bright. And it's interesting to see now, rather than necessarily going for Formula 1, a lot of these drivers, they just want to become professionals. And Andy, you know exactly what they're talking about, and it's good to see that not all of them necessarily want to be Formula 1 drivers.
Well, absolutely, but DTM's a great series, and I think, you know, he's still young enough to still make Formula 1 as well. I mean, he can go into DTM and still have a chance for Formula 1. It's important to get with a good manufacturer. Mortara's driven a great race. He's just controlling this from the front. He's just doing what it takes to finish in a safe, experienced, professional way, and this is what the manufacturers want to see. They want to see a guy who's in control, made a good start, didn't overcook it, just drove really well, and yeah, race 1 looks like it could be in the bag. I hope we haven't given him the commentator's curse there, but you know, fingers crossed this is going to be job done race 1.
Well, and he really has been very smooth about it. I mean, he hasn't looked out of line at all throughout the race. We haven't seen him too much because we've been watching the battle behind him, but when we watch him now, he's definitely on the move and not looking as though he's out of shape at any of the corners.
No, job done, job done. Lots of flames on the overrun there into Donna Maria, and coming into Macau hairpin for the last time in this race. And yeah, he's going to be thinking, well, hopefully not too much about it after victory speech, but yeah, I mean, it is job done. He's put himself on the front row, but tomorrow's race may be a little bit more difficult for him with Vantor there. I mean, he's shown some impressive pace. His fastest lap at 11.9, and I mean, he's not going to be that far back. I mean, obviously, Mortara had a bit of breathing space as the guys were scrapping around for 2nd and 3rd position. Maybe he won't have that comfort zone tomorrow.
Eduardo Mortara in the number 1. It's heading towards history as he takes the checkered flag to win the qualification race. Part 1 of 2 is over, and he's done just what he set out to do. His teammate Vantor is just behind him, and it's a good run by him too. Signature, I've got the 1-2 here. Abt takes 3rd, and so it's a 1-2-3. And what a shame for Mary, who has disappeared.
Yeah, something's happened. We see Bottas 4th and Whitman 5th, so Mary's just obviously
Verne
out.
Yep. Verne is 7th. Huertas goes up to 8th. De Costa 9th. And I think that Roberto Meri has either hit something or may not even finish, because Jafar comes across the line.